Judge Merchan has delayed the sentencing of Donald Trump. Major news out today, a huge victory again for Donald Trump. But basically, it had to happen. It had to happen because, you see, the Supreme Court ruled this week granting the president certain kinds of immunity. The court is granting him immunity when it comes to official acts, not personal. So that's going to now be debated, right? Because I do believe that his argument is this is a personal matter. By the way, there was no crime in it because NDAs are completely legal. And so there's really no there to begin with on this particular case that was just a you-know-what show, shall we say, in the city of New York. But Judge Merchan is backing off, saying, okay, we're not going to actually rule on that sentencing. We're going to delay that. We're going to delay the sentencing until we figure all this out. Well, Donald Trump, meanwhile, is going back saying this whole thing needs to be thrown out. In fact, you know what? All of them need to be thrown out. His attorneys are moving forward to overturn that conviction there in New York City, and they're citing the judge's immunity decision that came forward from the Supreme Court of the United States. In other words, we have a country, right? And we have a leader that we elect, a president. And it's not proper for the other side because they see that former president, perhaps future, as a threat. It's not proper for them to then go after him and go after him and go after him with 91 indictments, 4 criminal, to try and hit him with a $500 million fine. I'm talking about you, Letitia James. So guess what? Alvin Bragg, Letitia, baby, Fannie Willis, down on her Fannie, and who's the other one? Jack Smith. Well, guys, you were just too far out over your skis, were you not? Especially Jack. I mean, Jack trying to get an arcane Sarbanes-Oxley rule, which was put in place to basically prevent companies from getting too monopolistic, right? He was using that to go after the J6 protesters, to which the Supreme Court said, yeah, that may be stretching a little too far. And by the way, that actually crossed party lines. You had Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson coming out saying, this is going a little bit too far. So Jack has been pushed back a bit, and there's going to be a lot of legal stuff that ensues. But as a lot of people have said, this probably really won't see the time of day, in part because I suspect that Donald Trump is going to be elected again. And so then it's going to get really sticky. I mean, whatever happened, can I just throw this out there, to election interference? Do you remember when James Comey was so worried that he was going to be guilty of election interference if he went after Hillary Clinton for that server, which everybody agreed was illegal? Oh, well, he couldn't do that because it was election interference. That didn't seem to bother them with Donald Trump at all. No way, no how. Now, here's the thing. They're going after Donald Trump for those Mar-a-Lago documents that they say he held on to improperly, classified documents, but they're not going after Joe Biden, who's guilty of the exact same thing. No, in fact, Robert Hur made a pointed decision to not go after him because he said he could never get a conviction because every jury would just look at the guy and think, oh, he's a poor old man, a feeble old man, who can't really remember what day it is. So how can we ever convict him? And that was his reason not to go after him. Yet they're going after Trump. This came up in a recent hearing there on Capitol Hill, and you got to ask yourself why. In other words, why is there such a different set of rules? And let me just put this one out there. If Joe Biden is not strong enough to be able to stand in front of a jury and stand in front of a court, then how is he strong enough to lead the United States of America? I think everybody just got a rude awakening with that one.